Well, hello everybody. I'm Margaret and welcome to the Boboleros podcast. This is a podcast primarily about knitting, but also inspiration from the world of fine arts, literature, classical music, and other random drippings from the brain pan. But today's episode is only about knitting, I promise, just because I got a couple of finished objects to share with you and just some fun stuff to get started with. So I hope you are enjoying a wonderful December and holidays. And here I just, put up my Christmas tree and I feel like, I'm sure most of us feel like it's just rushing. I think Thanksgiving was really late this year and it feels like there's a rush to the finish line. But I vowed that I would relax this year and not get trapped in that overload of the season. So in any case, I hope this season finds you having moments of peace and joy and also dreams, because this is a dreamy time of year with all the lights and just everything is just very special this time of year. So I hope you are taking time to have some special moments. So I'd like to just start off by telling you what I am wearing, because this is my first finished object and I couldn't be more happy with it. And I'll tell you about it. It is the Funfetti sweater by Cara Ang. And I cast it on just because I wanted a quick knit. My daughter Maia, who you might have remembered from the early episodes on this podcast, she confiscated a couple of my sweaters, my hand knits. And one of the ones that she confiscated, and I'm okay with it just because I want my baby to be warm, and she barely wears coats as it is. Do any of you moms out there have kids who are, they should, like, of adulthood age, and they still walk around like in 30-degree weather without coats? Yeah. So anyway, so she took some of my sweaters. I'm like, just keep yourself warm whatever you do. But because of that, I needed a quick knit. So I had made one of Cara Ang's designs about 2 years ago, and because a lot of her designs use bulkier weight yarns, it goes super fast. This time around, I decided to try a different sort of weight yarn. And so I had this yarn. I wish I brought a sample. Last year I knit a little hat in it, which was super cute. And I was amazed because I thought with a bulky weight it would be much more thick and heavy to wear, but it was light as could be, but yet really cozy and scrunchy and warm. And this is it. This is the, I call it Lauren Teddy. That's the name. And this is, oh my goodness, the lighting is off here. I apologize for that. But in any case, it's really a nice weight yarn, and because of the boucle type weave on it, it just has this loftiness. So let me show you. I have it belted because I am trying out an outfit for a Christmas party this weekend. So I'm pairing it with, I'm belting it, and I'm pairing it with a little silk number I got at J. Crew, which is a bit long, but some fishnet stockings, some heels, which I could barely walk in, but that's another story, and a vintage belt. And I thought that would be kind of a fun way to go to a party and wear a cozy knit, because I'm always cold, even in parties and like home situations. I want to be cozy, but I also want to be festive. So I thought this might be a fun way to kind of snazz it up. Although my favorite way to wear this sweater is just simply with jeans. And it is so, I wish I could just describe how wonderfully lightweight and lofty it is. I'll tell you about these mitts in a second, but one of the features of the knit are these fantastic balloonish sleeves. I'm feeling the Debbie Harry vibes when I wear this sweater, like Blondie 70s, especially with this belt. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And so I knit this up using 2 strands. So I did 1 strand of the Lauren Teddy and 1 strand of this Vivian mohair. And this is my yarn, hand dyed Boboleros. And this is the colorway Voltaire. Voltaire, we like Voltaire. You know, it felt very French to me. And so I thought, why not name this skein something Frenchified? This is, you know, like I barely tapped into this skein. So I used 3 of these for the small size and 1 and just like slightly tapped into this one as well. So I would say 2, but you know, I barely used it. So in any case, I sat down to knit it. Let me just show you a couple of the highlights in the back. I also, for these stripes, I held double the Boboleros Vivian brushed mohair, which is a DK weight, in ruby, and it kind of gave it this nice contrast. So let me just tell you, I started this sweater, and I don't know, because it's a raglan construction, knit from the top down, I believe on size 15 needles. I didn't do any modifications to it. I don't think I did. I did a tubular bind off on the sleeves and on the bottom body, but I think I did a regular cast on for the top. And it was just like, go, go, go. I honestly, if I didn't have other things going on, I would have definitely finished this in 2 days. And I'm not that fast a knitter. I'm a continental knitter, but you know, it's not like I go crazy like super fast. But it was one of those things, I guess because of the combination of the yarns, it just started to grow really quickly. And I was very happy with that. The sleeves. Now, especially for bulkier weights and sleeves, I always find that rather cumbersome. We talk about as knitters being on sleeve island, and I don't mind sleeves that much, but I really mind it when with certain bulky projects, you're kind of like fighting the yarn because of small circumference needle. In the past, I've used like a small circumference cable to do sleeves. And that actually did work for this as well. And then I just kind of, when I got to the very end, I think what I did is I decreased a lot, and I was still able to finish this off on those same size needles. So no problems is really what I'm trying to say. I guess also because of the balloon sleeve, it made it possible to continue with that, you know, particularly like normal, like medium size. I wish I remember, it was probably 16-inch needle size, but if you could magic loop it, that would be easy too to do. Anyway, I love that it doesn't pill, which some yarns do pill, especially this bulkier weight. I've already worn it several times, and I think my mother wants it. Like we went on a trip this weekend, and she like took it and she said, I want this sweater. Could you knit me one for Christmas? So I don't think I'll have time to do that. So I might just give her this. But in any case, that is, if you're looking for a sweater to knit and you need it in a jiff, I would highly suggest this pattern. Beautifully written, easy to follow, and it kind of gets very, you get into a groove with it, because I believe it's something like 8 rows, and then you do the purl bump, the garter stitch, and then you go back to this just knit, 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 and stockinette, and then garter. So it cannot really be easier, and there is a rhythm to it, which is really super fun. So again, so happy with that knit. Anyway, so here I am in New Jersey, and New Jersey has been acting weird recently. New Jersey, what's up with you? What's up with you, Jersey? Like between these drones, which are like in my neighborhood every night, I haven't actually seen one, although I'm like, that's a drone. That's a drone. And my husband's like, no, that's just a plane, Margaret. But New Jersey's been weird. And so, yeah, between that and then last week, suddenly, after very warm weather, a very warm fall, suddenly we dipped into Arctic temperatures. Well, I mean, 30s, maybe 20s. But for me, that was Arctic enough. And I said, I need a really warm hat. Every night we walk our dog, as you do when you have a dog, right? But I wear just the most ratty hat, I have to say. As a knitter and owning several hand knits, I cannot tell you that I have a good hat that's utilitarian. You know, like I have hats that are, yeah, they're cool, they're chic, they're stylish, but when it comes to warmth, I am the type of gal that wants a Bunsen burner on her head. If I can have that, I'm happy. I want to be really super warm. And so to do that, what I've been doing is taking my husband's hat. He has this old hat, and it is so fugly. It's just because it's so old and ratty. But it's one of these ear flap hats, and it even has like leather string ties. So it covers your entire head, covers your ears, and a little bit even of your neck. So when I'm wearing that hat, walking dogs, when it's like Arctic temperatures in New Jersey, then I am sufficiently warm. Having said that, I thought, you know, it's time to upgrade, Margaret. It's time to upgrade. One of the pieces that I wear constantly outside in cold weather is this. It's a classic scarf, which, by the way, is the easiest knit possible. It's what I have been using whenever I teach new knitters how to knit. I've been doing some classes the past couple of years, group classes, teaching people how to knit. And this is the project that we start with. And to do this knit, it requires, well, this was done with one strand of bulk yarn and one strand of mohair, because I wanted a beginner knitter to experience a luxurious fabric and to have the thrill of ownership of something that they love to wear. And so this particular scarf was made with my own hand dyed, although this is natural color, but this is the Rita Bulky held with one strand again of the Vivian Brush DK. This combo is one of my favorites because of its warmth. And so, yeah, if you're looking for like a gift to give to a new knitter and they want to like knit a scarf, this one is an easy pattern. And so I just love wearing this one when I go out to walk the dog. And again, it's so warm. I wear this other occasions too, but I'm just saying walking the dog just because I live such a like hermit life these days. I'm like the person that doesn't leave the house. I'm writing a book as we speak, and that makes it even more like hermit-like for me. But I'll tell you more about that later. But it's wonderful, it's exciting, but as a result, it's not like I could really say, other than this Christmas party I'm going to on this weekend, I can't say like, oh, I'm having all these fabulous times out. It's really just hunkering down and working in the house. But hey, you know, we have to like enjoy it. And sometimes I dress up just to work inside the house. And I'm not apologetic about it too. It just makes me feel good. So that being said, having this nice toasty scarf, I said, now I really want to have a matching hat. So I was looking scouring through Ravelry and looking for a warm ear flap hat. And lo, behold, the fabulous Park and Knit, love her, had a phenomenal pattern for an ear flap hat. So again, it went so fast, and I love this so much. Look at this. It is a veritable helmet. Look at this. The flaps, right? Like this frontal piece here. I'm sorry that the lighting is so bad. This frontal piece, this like way that it like covers the entire back of the head, these ear flaps. And I added a little button with a little, like, I crocheted a little buttonhole towards the end so I could button it like my husband's hat that I love. So I could like really keep everything insulated. What can I say? I am bundled and happy. I mean, I just love this hat. I think the pattern is just phenomenal. And I was a little nervous, truth be told, because it felt like the repeats, in order to make this front flap, were a lot. And I thought it's going to be too big for my head, which I've made hats that have been too big for my head. And like I never wore them. And it's like disappointing when the fit isn't right, especially with your head. And then like there's this very clever construction after you attach this piece and you're decreasing, but at a very slow rate. So with that, I thought, oh man, it's going to be too big, because it just seemed to like take a long time to get all those decreases. But she knows what she's doing, that Park and Knit, because the fit is perfection. I can't ask for a better fit. And it's exactly what I wanted. The joy of knitting something that not only you want, but you need, and it comes out exactly the way you hoped for, and then more. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss to Park and Knit. This is just the best. So if you are looking for a warm hat, if you're like me and need coverage, I highly, highly, highly recommend that pattern. And if you'd like to use the same yarn I used, again, this is a yarn combo that I used to call this combo Formula 1, just because it's the reason I started Boboleros, was this combination of fibers together with the Rita Bulky and the Vivian Brush DK. I just found it to be so lush and luxurious. I started a yarn brand because of this. Yeah, just saying. When you love something, you just love it. Okay, and last is a work in progress, but it's not last because I have something else to share after that. Okay, I was looking last week, exactly a week ago. Today's Thursday. I think it's December 13th or 14th. I don't know what it is. Last week, I was watching everybody's cool Instagram posts having to do with Advent. Now, I love December in the knitting community. There's some magic about it. I am so grateful for all the Vlogmases out there. How much joy it brings to watch people's Vlogmases, and knowing the amount of effort and time it takes to make those, and that like daily schedule. And just hats off to all the knitters out there doing these Vlogmases and sharing so generously these inspirational things from their life behind the scenes. Charlene Peterson, I love your Vlogmas. Kimberly McAlinden, I love your Vlogmas. Chelsea Yarns, I love your Vlogmas, and I intend to find more Vlogmases to watch, but those are the ones that I've been, watching recently, and they're just always so uplifting and so beautiful. And I get so many ideas for, not only knitting, but like what to cook. Christina from Chelsea Yarns made a tomato soup with like grilled cheese, and I was like, I gotta make that. Like, cause right away I was like, that's like the perfect food to have for this time of year. So yeah, it's just awesome. So when I saw people's advents, I started to get like a little FOMO because I have not gotten an advent calendar, like a knit advent with the mini skeins and stuff. And like some of these projects look so good, but not only that, I just really was craving that daily ritual, that daily check-in of, you know, just putting those few rows in with that particular color or unwrapping that yarn for that day and being intentional and receiving the gift of that particular color and moment and mood and the meaning behind that. I just wanted that. But it was too late to get an advent. They're all gone. And then I'm looking in my yarn room where I have all 24 colors of my calibration in progress collection. And I'm like, why don't I make an advent out of there? But the thing is, I didn't have any mini skeins. I only had like a full fingering skein and DK and some others, but I wanted to do it with a fingering. So I started the process of breaking down each of the 24 colors to like getting what I figured was about 10 grams. So each skein is 100 grams and I only needed 10 grams of each color. And, you know, just, you have to like, you know how we knitters wind the yarn and sometimes it's like really tiresome. Well, like 24 times just to get 10 grams. And so I didn't like, I'm stuck with an 80 gram skein and now, or whatever, 85 or 90 gram skein. And I thought, what am I going to do with all these skeins? And so, because I can't sell an 80 or 85 or 90 gram skein. So anyway, I put it out there and I did a posting last week and asked people like, hey, I can make like 6 kits out of this yarn, and if anybody wants to join me in knitting this advent, then just let me know and I will send you that yarn. And so almost all of them are taken. I might have 2 left as of, you know, the time I'm shooting it, but if you're interested, just let me know and I will send you the yarn. It looks like this. I've broken it into kits. So these are 24 skeins, mini skeins of the whole collection. And the only thing is you need one main color of Bridget fingering of your choice to purchase from my Boboleros.com shops, so I could send you the kit and that would help me cover the cost of the postage and handling. Okay, so let me show you how far I've gotten with my advent knit, and I've been posting a lot about it on Instagram, and this is another shrug, but what a delightful shrug it is. This is Jackie Rose's Shrug Season, the Advent version, and I have just had so much fun each day. It's a ritual of putting in the 5 rows, and it takes like about 20-25 minutes to do it, and I do it usually in the morning with my coffee and watching some vlogs, and it's just like one of my favorite times of day. And today I have just added sky blue into the mix, and I think next what I'll do is I'll add my main color, which I've forgotten to add it earlier. I would think I was supposed to add it around here, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to add it here and just, you know, fudge it. Fudge it. Anyway, delightful, delightful. I'm so enjoying it. Here are the rest of my little mini balls in here. Oops, stay in there. So anyway, Advents are fun. Advents are fun. All right, on a new note, I want to show you, it's a wonderful segue to talk about a very special person, a friend in the knitting community, Leslie Friend. And I am going to embarrass Leslie right now. I'm so sorry, Leslie, but I'm just going to have to talk about your wonderfulness right now. These are the toast mitts by Leslie Friend. And in this time of Christmas, it's, I feel it's more and more, especially now that I have adult kids, I'm trying to focus and tell them and, go into a new tradition that it's not about the stuff, it's about the memories, it's about the connections, it's about the time spent together. And on that note, I want to talk about my friend Leslie. When I entered the knitting community about 2 years ago as a podcaster, sharing what I'm knitting, my over 20 years of making, and also sharing my life as a classical musician, I thought, gosh, like imposter syndrome, what right do I have to be here? And there were some like incredible people that rooted for me. There were some people that I thought were in my corner, and they weren't. Like once I started, they actually abandoned me or didn't really, talk to me much anymore, which is okay. But it was surprising. But it was mostly about the community and meeting new people. And I'll never forget, early on in my podcasting, I got an email from Leslie Friend who said, I just watched your podcast. I think you're wonderful. And I'd like to gift you this pattern of my toast mitts. And I was so taken aback at the kindness, at just taking the time to reach out and help someone who's kind of starting off, doesn't have their, act together yet, but is trying and again struggling with the imposter syndrome. And to get that validation from Leslie, who to me was this, and I'm sure to a lot of knitters too, just the inspiration of such not only style but grace and such such excellence in not only knitting but many other things. I thought, wow, that is such an endorsement, and it meant so much to me, and it gave me a boost forward. It helped me have the confidence to continue. And so I made these mitts, and I thought, this is so great. Leslie talks a lot about keeping the wrists warm and how cozy and toasty that is, hence the name Toast. But it's not until I actually made these mitts that I realized that's where my heat is escaping, is through my wrist. Because even just this act of putting these mitts on right now, I feel so much warmer. But, and I love how they go together. I knit these in the Paulette Donegal tweed. Again, I'm sorry to talk only about my yarn today, but it was my hand-dyed yarn. And anyway, what I want to say is that I am so grateful to people that take the time to help others along their journey. And so when I heard that Leslie was releasing a new pattern called the Hello Friend Vest, and I do think it's coming out next week, I said, Leslie, can I do something to celebrate? Because a new pattern release is a big deal. It takes so much effort to release a new pattern. It takes so much preparation. It takes so much energy. And it takes a lot of courage too. And I said, I want to celebrate you. And so I love Leslie's Instagram, and her pictures are fantastic, and she travels a lot. And I was trying to get inspiration because I wanted to dye up a colorway to express my love for Leslie and also the way she inspires me. And of course, Leslie is, I mean, if anybody could rock the neutrals, it's Leslie. I'm not really neutral. Although I like black a lot, but like the browns and the tans, they don't really vibe with my, skin tone very much. So I usually, no, actually, sometimes I do. I do have a brown coat that I wear, but it's funny. It's like I don't necessarily gravitate to the nudes. I want like color, green. But in any case, when I think about Leslie, I think, oh my gosh, such elegance. Like, it's like she's that cover girl beauty, and that kind of like, I don't know, like she's got that Farrah Fawcett. Like, to me, I just like, these are the ways I think about it. Anyway, and so there was one picture on Leslie's Instagram as I was scrolling through, and I said, that picture. That's how I see Leslie, and I'm going to put it right here. And in this picture, Leslie is in Paris, of course, Paris. And it's like, it's mostly this joy, this radiance in her expression. But it's also something about the two tones that she's wearing and against that Parisian landscape. And somehow this picture jumped at me. And it's the mood, and it was like something about those two colors that got me. And I said, okay, I want to create a new colorway inspired by Leslie Friend. And so here it is. It's called Love Leslie. And it's like this. And so I was going with the two tones. And then of course, I had to also like add in a little bit like of the Parisian landscape tones, because like these buildings in Paris, I was so struck while waiting in line at the Louvre at the different grays that are existent in Paris. And so I apologize that this lighting is not quite capturing it, but in any case, I just sent off to Leslie for her release of the Hello Friend vest, a kit of this yarn in worsted, which is the base that the vest is knit out of. And so she'll be doing something special with that, I think, but as a gift and as a celebration. But Love Leslie is going to be, I'm going to knit it up into one of these sweaters because I want to be reminded all the time of that great Leslie Friend energy. And I've put a couple skeins on the website too, just to celebrate the release of the Hello Friend. I can't wait for that. I'm making it because one could never have too many vests. And true to form, even I am getting hot. Who never gets hot in the house? These mitts are making me toasty. These mitts are making me toasty. So anyway, on that note, I bid you adieu. I thank you so much for spending some moments with me. I wish you the most wonderful of holidays. And thank you for joining me, and can't wait to talk to you soon. Bye now.